students. I hope you're doing well and having a great day today. I wanted to kind of walk you through this outline so that you had a better understanding of kind of what I'm looking for in this essay, and just how the framework should look. So let's go back to why we outline. A couple reasons that we outline are because we want to make sure that our thoughts are organized and cohesive. It's really, really hard when we're brainstorming and we're drafting. Sometimes our brains just get scattered on us. And so an outline helps us organize those thoughts. And then it helps us go back and look at something so that we can see, okay, this is what I want to talk about in this paragraph. This is what I want to talk about in this paragraph. And that kind of organization helps us figure out if we have enough content to really develop those ideas. So an outline, guys, those are composed of sentences. I'm not asking you to write the whole paragraph. I'm not asking you to even write multiple sentences that go in those paragraphs. What I'm really looking for is, do you know what topics you're going to talk about? And do those topics point back to a main message, or what we call the thesis statement? So let's take a look at our introduction section. You have right here a hook. And remember, this should be one sentence. And the hook should be an attention grabber. When I read that, it should make me want to continue reading that essay. A lot of times students will put summary sentences there instead that kind of give this holistic perspective. And y'all, that's just not a way to grab the reader's attention. So consider a really good sentence that aligns with what you're talking about, but make sure it really gravitates the attention of the reader. Then in the introduction, the second component you should have is the background information about the subject or person. This is where you can share a little bit about that person, what their job role is. Maybe you share your relationship with them or how you know them, but it gives the reader a little bit more of an indication of who they're going to be reading about. And then your thesis. Now, remember, your thesis should have focus on the career path your subject took and why they took that path. That should be the premise for your entire essay. So again, for your introduction, you should have three things: the hook, a few sentences of background information about that subject, and your thesis statement. And so really and truly, it's broken up into parts, but you will have composed your entire introduction up at that point. Then body paragraphs. Remember that each body paragraph should have a clear, defined topic. Go back to your questions and the answers that you did in your interview and ask yourself, what topics stood out to you the most that point back to that thesis statement? Then ask yourself, how can you group those ideas to form a full paragraph? So maybe in your interview notes, you have a lot of different things about what the job looks like from day to day. Maybe you have, okay, how is this job purposeful? How does it contribute to society? Then maybe you have a lot of information over the hardships of the job. What does that actually look like? And trying to mull through some of the challenges from day to day. And so as you're looking at all of that information, that's where you go, this is topic one, this is topic two, this is topic three. And you start piecing those ideas together. Now, keep in mind, we do not stick to just a 5-paragraph essay, okay? What I want you to ask yourself is, how many topics do you have? Can you really develop those topics fully? And then that's how you construct really what these paragraphs are going to look like. So for your topic sentence 1, I want to see the actual topic sentence that you're going to write. So it's not enough to say, I'm going to write about this. I want you to actually show me the sentence you're going to use, okay? So kind of like when we went back to that example from the beginning of the semester, give me the first sentence that you plan to use in that particular paragraph. That just helps me look for organization and focus. Then what you can put under here, but it's not required, is supporting evidence, okay? Did they use a specific quote that points back to that topic? Did you find something in the research that points back to that topic? So I put these things here, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight the things that have to be filled out in yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So your hook, your thesis, and your topic sentences. But I'm going to leave the other things not highlighted because you do not necessarily have to do that, but it does help you when you go into your draft, organize those thoughts a little bit more effectively. So remember, your quotes are what you heard from them, your interviewee, and you should be using two secondary sources at some point in this essay to support the primary research that you're finding. And remember, your primary research is the interview information. Your secondary research is what you're finding online. Body paragraphs in a profile essay should be a minimum of 10 sentences. Make sure you're fully developing these ideas. You can have anywhere from 3 to 8 paragraphs. And remember, it all goes back to organization. If you have a new topic, create a new paragraph. And just to give you an idea of kind of how this would look in a body paragraph. So first, of course, you're going to have your topic sentence. Then after that topic sentence, you're going to explain that idea in more detail. Then maybe after that, you'll use a quote from your interview. And then guys, you never use research without expanding. What I like to tell my students is it's your responsibility to make the connections. We can't assume that our reader just understands what that quote means to us. We have to then go into explanation and expand more. So you're going to expand on that quote. Then you may or may not want to use secondary research. But then again, remember, once you've used the research, you have to make the connection, okay? Show the reader how that research connects back to the main topic and supports what you found in your primary research. And then, as always, you're going to have a summative sentence. And the job of that summative sentence is really to kind of sum up what you've done in that paragraph. So then when you transfer to the next paragraph, it's not a big shock factor to the reader and it doesn't feel like you're just squirreling to the next idea. So let's take a look at this, what we're talking about. So topic sentence 1, explain 2, quote 3, expand 4, secondary research 5, make the connection 6, and a summative sentence. Y'all, that's at least 7 sentences right there. And that's banking on that you're only going to have 1 sentence per thing. And that's just typically not the case, right? It usually takes us a couple sentences to really do the job. So 10 sentences per paragraph is minimum amount to really develop an idea. Make sure that you're fully developing those ideas. And that typically comes in your explanations and the connections of that research. And then just remember, you can have anywhere from 3 to 8 paragraphs. So if you plan on adding more topics than 3, I would just recommend that you show that. So you would just yourself, you would write topic sentence 4, and then go ahead and fill it out for me. And that way I can kind of see what your ideas are and what you're planning on going off of. And then finally, when you get to the conclusion, restate your thesis using different words. And then you also have a place where this is kind of a point of reflection. What did you learn from this interview? What does that then tell you about your decision to go into that career path? And what does that look like for you? Guys, again, I don't want you to be too stressed over the outline because there's a lot of grace in fixing things and resubmitting. The outline's full purpose is to really get your ideas down on paper. So I'm not going to give you an example paragraph for the outline component. I am going to provide that when we start drafting next week. And really, it's towards the end of this week as well for your introduction, because I really want to see your unique ideas first. So again, remember, the only thing you're responsible for in this outline is the hook, the thesis statement, your topic sentences. So that's 1 sentence per paragraph. And then I want you to do your restatement of thesis. Okay. I just want to see that it's reiterated that you have to restate that in your conclusion. I hope this was super helpful. If you have any questions about the essay itself or the outline, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really looking forward to seeing your ideas and how that's going to look collectively in your essay. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.